Bordered by a high edge of blue spruce in a less visible corner of one of the most amazing and exciting cities in the world, there is a hidden gem, a bit of the country nestled in the midst of the hustle and the bustle that is New York City. It's a lovingly preserved home on an oversized property that evokes visions of the late 1800s. Affectionately called the Castle by neighbors, this house holds the secrets of a time long past. Dubbed the Ketcham House by famed historian Eugene Armbruster, this hidden treasure, which still stands in vigil to events of the past, has served as a farmhouse, as well as a nursery with greenhouses and stables, and it has been owned by several outstanding makers of American history. With the coming of the 20th century, beautiful Hollis became a boom town. Everyone wanted to live there. The Suralf Construction Company acquired the property and renovated the old farmhouse, making it a shining example of the ornate Italianate architecture of the time. Ask about the house, and a neighbor will be sure to tell you that a movie star once lived there. And indeed, one of the most famous residents was May Callahan Florence, who had been a star of living pictures, a model, and even an instructor for the godfather of health and fitness, Bernard McFadden. But May Callahan's greatest claim to fame, no doubt, is that she was the one and only original Gibson girl.
At the turn of the 20th century, a great sense of optimism and opportunity pervaded American culture. Vast fortunes were being made as America redefined itself at home and on the world stage. Enormously confident, yet innocent, the country's exuberance was best characterized at the time by one of America's most popular female images, who graced the pages of every leading national magazine. Burnt on leather, printed on plates, memorialized in vaudeville shows and on film, the Gibson girl captured an era with her independence, self-assurance, and above all, her beauty. She mirrored and influenced popular culture, just as tabloids and television do today, and she set a whole new standard for romantic love and became a symbol of her age, glorifying the American girl. The 1890s belonged to Charles Daly Gibson as much as they did to the Gibson girl. More than any other illustrator of his generation, he was able to communicate what was in vogue, resurrect romantic love, and capture the hearts and imagination of the public with a pretty woman that they could wholeheartedly call American.
Little did the clerk Mary Veronica Callahan know that in that fateful moment that a grand career would be forged and her image and accomplishments would forever be emblazoned on the annals of time. Although immortalized on a mural on Main Street in Disney World, on stamps, and in so many other places, time has obscured May Callahan's grand claim to fame. Though back in the day, those in the know readily admitted to the press that the original Gibson girl married the builder and was living a peaceful life of domesticity somewhere in Queens. For historians and just about every delivery person, stumbling upon the Ketcham house is an unexpected and awe-inspiring experience. Though tucked away in a quiet corner of Queens, this majestic house continues to stand in defiance of the forces of time, in enduring testimony to the legacy of the historic figures it has encountered in almost 200 years of New York history.
From Adderley Park right now. We're in a neighborhood called Hollis, and to be honest with you, we're on Hollis Avenue at 191st Street. We're here to show you a historical house that dates to 1849, and it gives you an idea of what the houses looked like back when this area was a farming community. As I mentioned before, there were there were 5 families, including the Remsons and the Ludlows, that owned all the farm and land around here. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about this house because it actually has a very interesting history too. And no one better to do it than Jason Antos, the president of the Queens Historical House, and a man who has written 7 books on the history of Queens, including the bestseller History of Shea Stadium.
Absolutely. Rob, thank you so much for that introduction. We're standing here, as he mentioned, in Hollis on this beautiful 28-degree afternoon, beautiful sunny day. And just very quickly, we're taking a look at the beautiful Ketcham house, built in 1848, 1849. All right, so this is a prime example of a pre-Civil War era home. It's one of the only examples of a pre-Civil War era homestead anywhere in this area of St. Albans / Hollis, Queens. There is no landmark designation yet for this home, but hopefully through the efforts of the Queens Historical Society, we could do some sort of future preservation effort. And just take a look at it. I mean, it's really incredible. And as you come down here on Hollis, near 100th Avenue and 190th Street, it sits on a huge 1-acre lot of land. And as you can see, even the sidewalk, the old sidewalk that sits above the grade level of the road. And it's something that's been somewhat overlooked by time and is a survivor, and it's still here with us today. And hopefully we can preserve it. It's in very good shape, and we can preserve it for future generations.
Given its obvious merits, it begs the question as to why the Ketcham house, with its rich history and bountiful legacy, should have fallen into such relative obscurity. Grandson and namesake David Warren Ketcham was born on the Ketcham farm and was always doing more than his fair share to give back to the community. He witnessed the burial of all of his family members. his sister, who was only 16, his father, grandmother, brother, grandfather, mother, and first wife. D.W. Ketcham, as he was known, married twice and appears to have had a very fruitful life, but he never had children to inherit Ketcham House and to carry on the family name. The Ketcham House, a cornerstone of community and American history. If its walls could talk, what stories it would tell. The Ketcham House has remained a mainstay of Hollis. It is the home of the Hollis Preservation Association. It is a place of refuge and community, and a place where many cherished memories are continually built.